Here we go again. Hello, everybody. This is your boy. It's your boy, Super Pokécraft Universe, and welcome to Jessica. Another very kid-friendly story. I say kid-friendly in quotations because we all know what's gonna happen from this point on. Anyway, story begins like this. I love Pokemon. I always have, and always will. Not just the games, but the characters themselves. When I was about 6, my dad had brought me my first ever games console. A yellow Game Boy Color console. A copy of Pokemon Yellow. Well, that's lucky. I mean, I feel like one of the Game Boy Colors was the very first console I've ever used in my entire life, and Pokemon was one of the first games I ever played, so this should be interesting. I was overjoyed. I had been a hardcore Pokemon fan ever since I started watching the TV shows with my brother, some friends. And every time I would start trying to reenact some Pokemon due to my young age and naive nature, I didn't know it was just a kids show in a game. Oh, this bird for a long one. Look at this. Look at this. My brother was with me in his own colorless Game Boy to see through one that shows all the funky machinery inside of it. Had a copy of Pokemon Blue. I would have gotten Red, but they were out of stock. Why would you need Red? You can use Pokemon Yellow to trade with both games. If from what I know. My brother began his game, along with me, in the car on the way to my grandmother's house, and we were both instantly hooked. I fell in love with Pikachu instantly, and my mind became being naive at a young age. Made me he call a weird name. Thinking of a girl who I hold on. Thinking of a girl who I knew who had moved recently, I named my Pikachu Jessica, hence the name of the Creepypasta, as a tribute to her. What? I got to Pooter City, and I had a Butterfree and Pidgey already. Similar to Ash in the cartoon. Well, but Pokemon were kind of trash. Ever wondered why Mewtwo was so powerful in these games? Probably in just Red and Blue or something, I don't know. Well, it's because of Bug Pokemon. Bug Pokemon were incredibly weak in this generation. There were not a lot of good bug type moves. That's why Mewtwo was so powerful. Yeah. Anyway, more about the creepypasta. Shut up, Super. You know we want to see what you're gonna read next. I had to turn it off and beg Dad to buy me new bad batteries to keep playing. But it was safe to say that I was hooked! After time, my team grew. It changed, expanding itself, and now replacing Butterfree and Pidgeotto with a Sandslash and Gurororo. A Dragonite traded to me from my brother. Is this name supposed to be a reference to Goro from Mortal Kombat or not? No. Those ROs aren't there before. As well as the two of them. My team also added in the Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur that you get during the game. However, one Pokemon never changed throughout the game. Jessica. I actually somehow like that name. She remained on my team throughout the game. I didn't mind that she was a little weaker than my other Pokemon because she wasn't evolved. She held a special place in my heart. Somehow, no matter how many times my brother tried convincing me to evolve her into a Raichu, which is impossible in my game, by trading her to him to let him do it, I never did. I liked Jessica the way she was, and kept training her along with my other Pokemon. Here in the cute Pika, as she went to battle, the little animations when I spoke to her. I think that's what made Pokemon Yellow so unique. That you can interact with your Pikachu and they'll have different reactions depending on your bond with them. Hold on, hold on, I'm trying to. In fact, she was a great Pokemon on my team She was the first Pokemon on my team to reach level 100. My first ever top level Pokemon. The first V I had ever gotten. My dad told me I was too into the game, but I saw it differently. So Jessica is more than just pixels and bytes in a video game. Well, if you see her like that, then try transferring her to a 3D Pokemon game. That way, it will look way better. Like, this is a close friend, a companion, and someone who would cheer me up when I was down with her Pika Pika every time I pressed the A button on her. I have no idea why this is actually kind of cute. In a sense, I began to love Jessica like a friend. As weird as it sounded, I don't see games as only see games as just games. Why would why would we be pissed off at rage games and be scared by horror games? They're just video games. Heck, I don't even know why we should even be amazed by something that's just a game. Alright, anyway, back to this. Soon Pokemon Gold and Silver came out. I traded my yellow team to my Pokemon Silver version and trained on that one instead. Even getting them all to level 102. Jessica still remained at the head of my party, along with my yellow team and my new Pokemon Silver team. I remember watching the anime in Johto and Ash saying that he valued all of his Pokemon and treated them like family. I valued my Pokemon in the same way. And Jessica felt like the little girl sister I had never had. And also, Ash is still freaking 10! My brother had a. Wait a second, I need to read a line again. It just felt like the little sister I never. Oh, oh, God. Man, she really cares. The writer really cares about Jessica, writer, or the protagonist. Or. Is the protagonist of Creepypasta called the writer or something? I don't know. Maybe someone might tell me that. My brother had a tendency to just restart his game when he got bored. I even got Pokemon Red to try to match him, and we even had races together. He and I battled occasionally, and he often won, but he could never match up to my Pokemon Yellow team. One day, however, one of our younger friends came around and messed with my game without me knowing. He didn't erase it, but he accidentally evolved Jessica into a Raichu, since it was on my new Crystal version. She couldn't refuse like she did in Yellow. Oh, shit's about to get real. I feel gutted and a little sad that some of my past have died. To relive some nostalgic moments, I traded my team back to Yellow and began to fight some Pokemon with my team. Okay. My love for it being back. I have to pause. Boom. I have closed my door so that I can't bother anyone while I read this. I felt gutted and a little sad had that some of my past had died. I think I just read that. To relive some nostalgic moments, I traded my team back to Yellow and began to fight more Pokemon with my team. My love for it being back, although Jessica wasn't following me around anymore, I still treated her like the Pikachu I always had. I even spoke to in my game a few times, and once or twice I thought she responded to me. If I felt happy, Raich's cry was normal and tough, and if I felt sad, it felt slowed down and a little saddened. It might have just been me, but oh well. But when Ruby and Sapphire came out, how I was distraught. That I couldn't trade Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon to them. Felt incredibly sad and finally put down my Pokemon Yellow to pick up a copy of Pokemon Ruby. So what if it was American on a British Game Boy Advance? I began to play and was instantly hooked. Made a new team, but every now and again I went back to my old games. Jessica still made me come back to Pokemon Yellow. and her Pikachu on the front page sprite made me always happy to see her again. Fortunately, my life outside of my video games was becoming less fortunate. My mother was getting sick and slowly dying of cancer. Oh, shit. The doctors tried everything they could and fought to keep her alive. But everyone knew the end was coming, except me. I was so naive that I never even understood half of what was going on. Sure, I knew Mom was ill, but then the inevitable happened, and it finally smacked me in the face. I closed myself to reality, playing games and forcing everyone away from me. My thought was so misguided. My thoughts were so misguided and far-fetched. My mind was being distorted, and I was doing incredibly badly on my games. Even if I was trying to use them as a failsafe, Ruby was no fun anymore, and most of my other games were just plain rubbish. Super Smash Brothers Melee kept me entertained for a while. Super Smash Brothers, also what I like, what we all kind of like to call, or mostly just me, Super Smash That Ass Brothers. Okay, that sounded a bit inappropriate. I'm sorry. Kept me entertained for a while, but soon even that got dull. The only thing left for me now was Yellow. If Super Smash Brothers is being too boring for you, get Ultimate. It's really good. I haven't played it yet, but okay, it wasn't really out that time. Somehow it's a failsafe. Jessica in Yellow actually worked. She always seemed to cheer me up, even as a Raichu, and her tough battle cry made me keep going forward. I met a girl online began to began to fall in love with her. She helped me through several hard times and was also a great Pokemon fan. I got Pearl soon after and began to play that, getting hints and tips from this new friend, who will be known as S, to protect her identity, and making a new team, buying Pokemon Revolution soon after, and battling her on it occasionally. Everything was getting back together until one fateful whole event. One event that would, to me unknowingly, set off a whole chain reaction. I had to come home from school incredibly angry. People at school had been bullying me, and a friend had turned on me, seriously upset me. In a blind rage, I had stormed into my room and began to throw things around. My bags, books, drawers, anything that wasn't secure. Eventually I calmed down and began to tidy up, moving things from a pile I had made of heavy objects being thrown. I heard an odd crunching and cracking noise. Digging everything away, found something that made my anger dissipate into nothing. Wow. There, crushed at the bottom of the pile, was a yellow cartridge, or a Game Boy Color game. I only had one yellow color game, and that was the game I started with. Yellow. I cried. I think I really cried for quite some time. I just holding the smashed bits of my game to my chest. No more nostalgic battles with the Elite Four. No more battles with my rival. No more Jessica, Pikachu to Raichu. I had grown to love as a good friend and almost as a sister. Man, this is depressing. I felt bad and guilty. But even still, I had other Pokemon games. I had Pearl, with an amazing team on it. And soon, I was going to get Platinum. Would I really miss a Pokemon game that was about 7 or 8 years old? Doesn't look like I know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. I wish I paid more attention. I was far too blind and naive. I began to play Peril more frequently, challenging S to battles as well as my friends. I moved to a new school and got platinum, but my depression kept coming back to haunt me. My brother, too, suffered from depression from the death of her mother, and neither of us were getting any better. Well, I was stable thanks to S, who had now become my girlfriend. My brother was far off. My brother wasn't even going to school anymore. He had lost interest in the Pokemon and gone to other fandoms. But I stayed loyal. I still am, to this very day. The number one Pokemon fan in my school. However, whenever I played my Pokemon games, something lingered at the back of my mind. Something that I had forgotten. Something that I couldn't quite put my finger on. Whatever it was, I seemed to get this feeling whenever I saw a member of the True family in the anime or in the games. It was odd and a little creepy. A year and a half later, approximately 6 months ago from today, he, another tragedy struck. My brother, who had slowly been sinking lower and lower into depression, died in his flat hat suddenly. Nobody told me anything about what happened, but it was enough. My depression came back like a storm and smacked me. A few days later, I was due to go back to school. I was rummaging through old things that would bring back memories of my brother. Digging in a box, I found a cracked object. Pulling it out, I was surprised to see it was my old Pokemon Yellow cartridge. There was a large chunk of it missing from the front, and a lot of the nuts and bolts inside of it were loose and tipped all over the bottom of the box. Nuts! I took all of them and attempted to find the lost piece of the cover, but to no avail. Finally giving up, I placed it back into the box and put it away. As I did, a name flashed into my mind. It made me pause. Jessica. Where had I heard that name before? I couldn't remember. I stuffed it back under my computer desk and left for school. There's no way you forgot Jessica. Things weren't going very well. After my brother's death, my mind was going wrong. I was soon hearing voices in my head, and I was diagnosed with minor multiple personality disorder. Pokemon Heart and I was racing game along with S and my two friends, and known to you as P and R, were the only things keeping me sane. Soon enough, P suggested I could get the new Pokemon games, Pokemon Black and White. I decided to get Black because Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow, Black and... Okay, never mind. Because I liked the look of the White Dragon, Reshiram. He said that he would get White, and we would race to see who could beat the game first, just like me and my brother would have done. Soon the game came, and we went instantly to playing it. Within these 3 days, I was already with 7 badges and a full team. My love for Pokemon would never die, and P was left in the dust with only 4 badges. It's so sad. Finally beating the game and getting the transfer machine, after seeing a very probably sad ending, I borrowed the P's DS and began to scroll through some Pokemon to trade from my Heart Gold. I wanted to replace the Lightning, my Striker, and Wildfire, my Semiseer, because they were far too weak. And also Semiseer, I feel like someone said he looked kind of dumb or something. Looking through, I came across a Pikachu I had gotten from the Yellow Forest. His Pokewalker run. It was female. Had a modest nature, and knew Surf, Volt Tackle, and 2 other moves. I can't remember. Perfect. As a tradition of mine, I always name my Pokemon. This helps me put characteristics to them. And I hadn't done so ever since I could remember. My Heart Gold's file was loaded, and I took the Pikachu to the name reader. Pikachu seemed like the only one really worthy of being on my team. I'd already decided to replace Semiseer with another new Nova Pokemon, as I wanted to nickname her. I had a discussion with the other 2 voices in my head to ask what to call her, and we were talking. My stylus tapped absent-mindedly on the screen without me realizing it. They came back to focus from the conversation with my other 2 counterparts. I realized that my dawdling had made me press enter. I rolled my eyes and went to look at the probably silly name I had made. I didn't know how to pronounce this. I'm sorry, I can't speak today. Congratulations! From now on, this Pokemon will be known as Jessica. Jessica. My eyes widened as I recognized the name from somewhere. Where? I didn't remember, but it seemed to fit. Everything from there went smoothly. We decided to stick with that name and send Jessica to my Black and played with that weird captured game thing. It took me 2 tries to do it, but I finally got my Pokemon of Black. Jessica was shifted to the front of my party, and I began to train her. Things were going as planned. The Lucky Egg and Experience Point Up power I was using for my Sea Gear were working great. Changed her moveset a bit to be more special oriented. She had a monster nature. And kept on training. Things started getting strange about 30 minutes after she was in the game. I had started trading Jessica without an experience boost and had just gotten her to level 50. Level 50 was the level I was planning to evolve her to Raichu. I say twice to get rid of the stats. Yes. And then, a third time to get rid of the winning battle message. Sorry, what? However, rather than the screen going back to normal, it stayed black for a few seconds. Thinking my game had crashed, I pressed the A button once or twice. Black message box appeared on the screen. As I just received an item. The text was going slowly. What was displayed made me frown. Remember me? I blinked. I didn't know what that was. The text box vanished and the screen returned to normal. I guess it was just some odd glitch for an event. No, it wasn't. When has an event ever said that? I haven't experienced an event. I don't know too much about events, but I know they wouldn't say, "Remember me." Maybe a joke they did since Pikachu was a main Pokemon in the first games. What? Chuckling a little at a possible gag, I went back to my bag and took a Thunderstone. Going to click on Jessica. However, rather than the page being replaced by Jessica evolving, text box appeared. This time, the text moving out at normal speed. Jessica is refusing to take the stone. Refusing? Refusing? I was confused. Pokemon had never done that to me. Except once. Maybe it was a gag again. Back to this old Pokemon game. Sighing, I closed the bag and began to walk around a bit more. Training again, Jessica raised a few more levels until she was level 60. I tried with the Thunderstone again. Jessica refused, but this time, as I closed the bag, another message appeared. Black text box, slow white writing like before. It's not going to work. Now, do you remember me? This is starting to creep me out a little. Yeah, this is the part where shit hits the fan. I saved my game and then checked Jessica's stats. On the status screen, her stats seem normal. Level 60, Honest Nature, Holy Level, Lucky Egg, Female. Something was different. It took me a few seconds to notice what it was. The Pokemon's sprite usually moves on the side screen. But Jessica wasn't unmoving. Pokemon was sat there, staring intently at the screen. And she didn't look happy like all the other Pokemon that Pikachu did. In fact, she looked angry. Her head was crouched a little, and her eyes were narrowed, her cheeks sparking occasionally. She hadn't been like that when I'd first gotten her. Worried that it could be a Pokerus or some form of equivalent, I took her to the Pokemon Center to see if that little message saying, "Yeah, Pokerus" came up. When I spoke to Nurse Joy, she held my Pokemon and then began to say something. Well, what she said was what I was expecting. Oh my, seems your Jessica isn't very pleased with you. Did you do something to upset it? You should take better care of your Pokemon. I read the string over and over, trying to understand what I had done wrong. Was this all a side effect of some glitch involving Pikachus and Thunderstones? Nope! Jessica is special. It's unlike any other Pikachu in existence. Alarm bells were going off in my head. My other two voices were screaming at me to be careful, but I wanted to get Jessica up to a higher level to battle the champion and my friend. And so I began to train again. And once she reached level 65, I checked back on her sprite. Jessica's sprite had gone back to normal. So it was different. Whereas Pikachu's sprite normally bounced, Jessica did not. And she seemed to be looking at me, her eyes locking into mine quietly. The detailed brown eyes filled with emotion. Well, I need to take a breath. I never knew could be seen in a game. Hatred, anger, resentment, sorrow. They were not happy eyes. As I closed her status page, the status message flashed up. You're a liar, a cruel, heartless killer. Killer? I stared at the screen. Now I knew something was wrong. Yeah, shit hit the fan. I quickly grabbed my DS and hurried upstairs in my stole the 5 PNR. Both of them in the upstairs lounge. I showed them the game, but as soon as I turned the DS to show them, oh, go on, guess. Guess what happens. The message would place itself on Jessica's screen. I told them to listen to me and begged them to understand. The two of them were both talking about something else and thought I was going nuts and being stupid. You're not stupid, trust me. I resigned myself to possibly thinking that two and headed back upstairs to my room, continuing to train. As soon as I opened my DS back, words were on the bottom of the screen in a slightly larger than normal text box. These words were worrying. However, Sitsu was still in the black text box, but the words for themselves were blood red and in a different style of writing, much more blocky and sharp than the rounded edges of the newer writing. You kept me close. We were the best of friends. Then you broke me, killed me, and then discarded me. I will never die. I am too close to your heart. Just as spray appeared on the screen. I was different again. Instead of a happy, bouncy Pikachu, her arms were folded and her ears were drooping downwards. Her eyes narrowed and her body had turned so it was now facing the screen directly. And it was then that I really understood. She was talking to the character at all. She was talking to me. Jessica, I was scared, whispered, staring at her quietly. Pikachu's right nodded angrily, and its mouth began to move silently as words appeared on the screen in that same blood-red digital right. I thought you cared. I thought you really cared. Wasn't I special to you, Cameron? Wasn't I your best friend? Yes, slash no selection box appeared. I lingered. Memories slowly began to hit me as the other two voices in my head remained silent. Probably just as shocked as I was. Fingers trembling, selected yes. Jessica nodded on screen before her tail flickered, her mouth began to move again. Yes, we were partners. You and I. We took down the Team Rocket together. We conquered Kanto, Johto, and even Red together. I thought you cared, but I was wrong. You let rage get the better of you, and snapped me like a twig. You crushed me, as well as my heart. You killed me. You're a murderer, Cameron. No, I cried, not realizing I was talking aloud. Jessica, I'm sorry, I really am. I could feel tears beginning to stream down my face. Got it all wrong. There's a silence from the screen. Before I said what I heard. Pika from the speakers. I looked at the screen to see she had turned her back on me and began to walk away. I shook my head, practically able to try to do something. But all I got was a swish of her lightning bullet tail as she faded out. The screen returned normal. The black character was facing a peach sprite at the top of some stairs. I guess that was. I guess that this was Jessica, and the little Pikachu block looked at the black before another her text box appeared. Top Celestial Tower. I will be. I will wait for you. Holy shit, man! With that, the screen flashed black and then back to normal. Things went wrong, so the music had stopped playing, and black seemed to be moving slightly slower than normal. When I checked my party Pokemon, the first thing I noticed is that Jessica was no longer in my party. The first base was replaced by my starter, which my wish, a Samurott. Looking over my Pokemon, I noticed some other things. The cries were not sounded, and the sprites were frozen. The sprites themselves were also only done in certain monochrome colors. Yellow, red, blue, or whatnot. As well as done in large blocky pixels. Just like Pokemon Yellow sprites. Everything suddenly hit me. Jessica, my old team, nostalgia, and finally what had happened to the cartridge. Without another word, in real life or in game, I used my trusty Sigalef, High Note, to fly to Miss, Miss, Mistriton City? Fuck it. City and head north towards Celestial Tower. These music still refused to play, but I was in too much torment with myself to care. Two voices in my head trying to reassure me that this was some kind of nightmare. But I knew it was all happening. It was all so real. My throat was incredibly dry, just like right now. Tears still ran down my face as I entered the tower. The tower of the deceased Pokemon. Pokemon Tower. So as I entered, the atmosphere was different from normal. The room was darker than normal, and there wasn't anybody there. There was a forlorn silence, but faintly music was playing. Then there was a spiral staircase, and the music got louder with every step I raised. Each floor was how it should be, but much darker and with no trainers or wild Pokemon. Graves were painted black. On the final staircase, I saw. Cameron used rage. Jessica died. Block red capital letters spiraling up the stairs. One letter on each second step. I finally reached the top and surprisingly found everybody there. All the trainers from the tower. The gym leaders. Elite Four, Belle, Sharon, and Alder, they were all here, looking towards the main steps to the bell at the top of the tower. As I approached them, people stopped me. What they said was what shocked me. It made my throat dry out even more, and fresh tears well up in my eyes. Cameron, how could you do such a thing? You, I looked up to you. How could you betray me? This is unforgivable, but maybe she will. She said that you wanted people to live in peace. Then why did you? Oh yeah, we all do wonder why. But there's probably more to it than that. As I rose to the final steps, Belle, Sharon, Anne, and Older all followed, blocking the way back out. I went forward and stopped. There, standing in front of the bell, was undeniably Righteous Right. She rang the bell, the sounds sounding eerie with the music, which I now recognize as the 8-bit Lavender Town theme from Pokemon Yellow. They accidentally stopped, and another text in the bubble appeared. Black, white writing. Came, Cameron. I did. I whispered quietly to the screen, stuffing as I stared at it. The magistrate turned around and took a few steps towards Black, always stopping one or two spaces away. Do you know why I called you here? Yes, no. Box appeared again. First, yes, if shaking thumbs with the right shoe, and the right shoe shook its head in response. No, you don't. Don't lie. I called you here so you could see what you did to me. Sprite took a final few steps towards Black and straightened puzzled out. The larger Sprite replacing most of the screen, like when N sometimes talked. What I saw, however, almost made me sick. It was a Raichu, but no Raichu I had ever seen. The creature's ears were flattened to its skull, a huge gash leading from one ear to the other across the forehead. Blood-stained fur was shown all the way down its face, past its sorrowful eyes and scratched cheeks. Its arms hung limply by its sides, and its tail drooped limply over its shoulder. The lightning bolt at the tip of it having had a large chunk ripped out of it. Holy shit! Raichu's mouth had dried blood around the lips, and some was still dribbling from the corner of its mouth. But it was the main part of the Raichu that terrified me. Right where the chest was, the abdomen and stomach area of the Raichu too, there was a gaping wound. Inside could be intestines, bones, cracked ribs, and with copious amounts of blood dripping from it, covering the white belly fur and staining it red. I could see its heart. And with a sickening turn of my stomach, I saw it beating feebly within the shattered ribcage. Oh my god. Okay, that's pretty creepy. Panicking, I pressed A repeatedly to get the image away from the screen. Instead, a text box appeared, writing digital and red, just like the blood coming out from the peach. It's all Cameron. Somebody did to me. Your closest friend, the one who you so mercilessly killed. I'm sorry. I screamed suddenly, staring at the Rachel's face. Sorry. With that, I crumpled over straight at his It was an accident. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to do anything to you. You're still my Pokemon. You're still my friend. None of this was meant to happen. Just don't hate me. Hey, it was all stupid accident. However, I saw a few minutes before finally just got had gone, and over was White Shoes. Right was simply standing there, looking at Black. Nothing was said for a moment, and I simply stared at the screen. Finally, the text box appeared. Was it truly an accident? A yes or no? No box appeared. Pressed yes, and there was another pause. The right shoe was right turned around and walked back to the bell before another test. Did you regret what you did? Another yes. No, but that box. I frantically pressed yes, more tears making their way down my face. There was another pause before Jessica finally turned around, staring back at Black. Jessica believes you. Felt a wave of relief flash over me as I saw the right walk back over to Black. Screen flashed up. The right she sprayed again. This time his sorrowful eyes were replaced with soft ones. A small, weak smile on his face. Do you still love me? There was no yes no box. Instead, it asked if I wanted to record or check mic options. I know I guess microphone was fine, so I pressed record and took a deep breath. Jessica, I'm so sorry for what I did to you. Man, this is so depressing. I wish I could reverse what I put you through. I should never have forgotten. You're not just a bunch of pixels and data, but a being just like me. I am really sorry, I promise. I'll never do it again. Ever. I'll be more careful. I'll never start a Pokemon game ever. All I want. I should get a soft breath and finally those last words out. Oops! Your forgiveness for my stupidity. Is your forgiveness for my stupidity? I still love you, Jessica. She just got on the screen, nodded, and it faded out. The door returned. Jessica appeared again as a red straight. This time ever, Black spun around in a circle, and a small Pokeball flew from his hand. A flash of white light engulfed Jessica as the ball closed. Black moved towards it to pick it up. A new detachment appeared. Thank you, Cameron. You really do remember. The smile was discreet and as I did, Sharon, Bell, and all walked up to Black and surrounded him. The screen faded out, and Black reappeared in front of the bell. He rang the bell, and the usual message appeared. Instead of what normally happens, however, Black walked away from the bell, with the screen still focused on it. As it faded, I saw a few ghost silhouettes. Charizard, Blastoise, a Venusaur, Sandslash, and Dragonite. All of my old Pokemon Yellow team had been laid to rest in the Celestial Tower, never returning, but never being forgotten. Springs blacked out and returned me to Miss Mistralton City. Mistralton? I don't know how to. What a way to ruin an emotional moment. A message popped up saying that the game had been saved. Checked my Pokemon, saw Jessica in my sixth slot. Opened the page, a huge wave of nostalgia and comfort greeted me, and my two other voices as we looked at the street. Greeting us was a level 100 Raichu. Modest nature, female with the nickname Jessica. An OTS Cam, which is my Pokemon Yellow character name, him. Moving to the move section, I saw that her stats were exactly how they were left in Yellow. Her moveset was exactly the same as her old Yellow moveset. Thunderbolt, Double Team, Submission, and Surf. I smiled broadly. She had forgiven me and decided to join me once again. Why would she ever not forgive me? As I pressed the B to leave the page, one final message popped up. Large Raichu picture appeared again. This time, there were no cuts or internal organs shown, which has shown the smiling face of a healthy Raichu beaming at the screen. The message box popped up as the Raichu's mouth moved as if it was saying the words. Thank you, Cameron, for taking me back. Oh, and by the way, she changed briefly. Picture now had one paw up. I saw something in her paw that made my eyes widen. It showed that no matter how much anyone would prove otherwise, there was no joke. This was no joke or hack. Her paw set the final saving part to my Pokemon Yellow cartridge. I never truly forgot you either. Uh, I'm not sure what those are. If you read this and realize to us that it may seem a game, but Jessica taught me that if you love a game too much, it becomes part of you, so much so that you can't leave it behind. Wow, this is actually cool. I have never ever started or broken a Pokemon game since. I am careful with all my games. I don't want to upset anybody like Jessica ever again. I'm glad she was so forgiving and loving of me. If she wasn't, it could have never ended so much worse. And that was the end of Jessica. Overall, it was actually a pretty emotional story. I actually liked it a lot. No jokes. I didn't even make the jokes because this is actually a very touching story. And the moral of the story is, don't ever forget about anyone. Even if you break something nostalgic on accident, don't ever forget about whatever was in the cartridge. Anyway, bye.